What's up guys, my name is Ace, and today it's finally time to share my accuracy drill for you guys for Black Ops 4. This is something that I do every single year with Call of Duty, and this drill is excellent for helping you improve your aim, as well as it's just great for warming up when you get into a gaming session. Now normally this drill is pretty much the exact same every year and I just adapted to a new Call of Duty game. This time around it is completely different, so there's a lot to go over here, and I guess we can just jump right into the setup. Now with Black Ops 4 currently, at least at launch, there's no option to save your custom match settings, which is a little bit frustrating for this, but it doesn't take too long to set up once you get the hang of it. And first up, just to get into custom games, because I've had a lot of people asking me where are the custom games, go to your multiplayer, and then you just hit this little area right here where it looks like there's like stat bars, and from there that's where you get to your custom games. Then we are going to change the map, or first up the mode, to hardpoint. We are going to be playing King of the Hill here. Normally I use free-for-all for this, but I couldn't get the bots to behave the way I wanted them to for this drill unless I put hardpoints on. It funnels the enemies into one area, which is really nice for this drill. Also, the map that I use is Gridlock for this. Now, you can also use Slums. I feel like that's a decent replacement, and maybe you could mess around with a couple other maps, but there is a reason I chose Gridlock, and it seems to work the best for this particular setup. Now we get into the rule set. So for this one, we want our time to be unlimited, or whatever you want your time limit to be. Same thing with score, unlimited, or if you want to set a limit so you know when to end, then that's totally fine. We don't change any of those settings there. The only other setting here we change is we turn our minimap to constant, so we can always see where the enemies are coming from. And this is because it's not about learning how to find enemies or anything like that. This is just an aiming drill. We want to know where our targets are so that we can snap onto them and learn how to shoot them effectively. One other setting I almost forgot to mention here is when we go to the hardpoint settings on advanced, we want to turn the lifetime to unlimited. This will keep it so that the hardpoint location stays consistent throughout the entire match. It will stay right in the middle of Gridlock, and this is where we want it to be. Now, if we tab over here to the specialist settings, we want to make sure we turn off the draft, just disable that. That just saves us 30 seconds at the beginning of the game, so you don't have to wait for everybody to select their specialist when it's just you and bots, so it doesn't make any sense. For this one, we're actually keeping the health consistent. Now, normally with this drill, I will increase the health of enemies, but with Black Ops 4, we already have an increased health, and I feel like it just works better with 150 health because each gun is specifically tuned around that. And we are going to be using a variety of guns, potentially, if that's what you want. And then we keep the rest of this all the same. The cooldowns, we want to turn off specialist weaponry as well as equipment. We don't want that screwing up with our rhythm or our flow if somebody just suddenly throws a 9-bang or pops a shield or something stupid like that. So we got to make sure we disable both equipment as well as specialist weaponry. Now, next up, we want to scroll down to our bot settings. We want our bots set to regular difficulty. Normally, I do recruit because they're just meant to be targets that you shoot at, basically like pylons in a drill for sports. But the recruit bots move in a really weird way in this game, and they're just too stupid. It just doesn't work, so we have to go with regular, and the regular bots are actually kind of good. But we're going to be adding roughly 4 bots. I like to use 4 bots. If you find it's a little bit difficult for you, you might want to drop it down to 3. Or if you feel like you can handle 5, then go from there. But this is something you'll have to play around with for yourself. This is how you adjust the difficulty level of this drill, is the number of bots, not the actual skill level of the bot. So that's it. That's the entire setup as far as the rule set goes. As for our custom classes, I'd recommend a couple different setups here. You can really use whatever you're comfortable with, whatever you'd like. I would recommend an assault rifle or LMG. But with this one, this is kind of the easy mode version. This is the ICR with reflex, quick draw, both grips, as well as FMJ. So if we do run into an armored user, it will still be nice and consistent. We got our stim shot on there, and we need to have scavenger on this class as well. Like I said, this one's pretty much the easy mode setup and probably the baseline that you should start with this drill, but you can also use something like KN57, for instance. Just deck it out with the attachments you're comfortable with. Once again, just make sure you have scavenger as well as stim shot equipped. So now that we have all that wrapped up, let's get into the game, and I'll tell you guys exactly what you should be doing and what you should be focusing on and how exactly this drill works. Before we do that though, since this is an accuracy video, I am going to be bringing up control freaks. Control freaks are something that I've been using for many years, and I truly feel that they do help quite a bit with your accuracy. I can't play without them anymore. I use a Black Ops 4 edition on my right analog stick, and essentially what it does is it just clips onto your analog stick, and it extends the length of your analog stick, which gives you a wider range of motion and allows you to make fine adjustments to your aim more efficiently. This is a product I absolutely swear by. I've been working with Control Freak for quite some time as well. and I really do recommend them. If you guys are interested in these and you want 10% off, I will leave a link down below. All you have to do at checkout is use the code EXCLUSIVE for 10% off. Now that we have that out of the way, let's get into the drill itself. So essentially, you might have guessed it, this is going to be like a king of the hill sort of a thing. It's you against the bots, and you're going to be fighting over that middle point. Now, the regular bots will always funnel directly into that point. That's what they're programmed to do, is simply play the objective. So you're basically just going to keep going straight to that middle area. You're going to go from trying to break that hard point, so you have to kill all the enemies when they're on the hard point. And then once you do that, you want to hold the hard point. You want to try and keep them away from it, while focusing 100% on your accuracy. Accuracy always comes first. Speed will come second. You can build up a momentum. You can build up the speed a little bit as you get more comfortable with aiming. But the real focus on this drill is making sure you hit your shots. And a great baseline for this, if you're using that ICR class, is you should be able to comfortably get 4 kills between every reload. So for every magazine, 4 kills should be what you're aiming for. If you're not hitting that 4 kill mark, that means you're missing too many shots and you need to slow down, focus on your aim. And once you do get to that point where you are consistently getting 4 kills per magazine, try and speed it up a little bit. Try to snap on a target a little bit faster. Try and snap between targets a little bit faster, and that will help you improve over time. Now, one important thing to note here is, since we have regular bots, and the regular bots in Black Ops 4 can actually be pretty good. Sometimes they just snap onto you and melt you practically instantly like they have an aimbot. This is actually fine with this particular drill. You are going to die sometimes, and that's okay. Before, I really didn't want you to die with the drill. I wanted it to be all about keeping up momentum and flow in a free-for-all match, but that doesn't work quite the same here. And it's really good that they actually force you to snap on a target quickly with these regular bots, because it'll help you transfer that into public matches a lot more effectively when you're against real people that will be shooting back at you. So really, in this drill, it is okay to die every once in a while. You don't want to be constantly dying all the time. If that's the case, you might want to drop the number of bots a little bit. But if you die, it actually resets you, so all the bots will be on the hard point, and you have to go and break that again, which is a great way to change it up a little bit. Because if you're just defending the hard point, it gets a little bit repetitive, a little bit monotonous. So it's okay to die every now and then push towards a hill and try to break it. Now, another thing to mention is play to the strengths of the gun that you're using for the drill, because that will transfer over to multiplayer. So with the ICR, for instance, try to land one of your bullets in the head, because that will reduce the number of shots it takes to kill on that bot. With the KN57, on the other hand, don't worry about headshots, just focus on hitting those body shots, because that's where the KN57 excels. Of course, you can adapt this to any one of the other guns that you want to use with this. You can even use sniper rifles for this drill. It's a great quick scoping practice drill if you would like to do that, but that one is really up to you. Now, as for sensitivity, I know a lot of people are wondering about sensitivity. I will be doing an entirely separate video talking all about sensitivity and how to find the best sensitivity for you. But essentially, with this drill, just use what you're comfortable with, use what you use in normal multiplayer, and that should transfer over just fine when you're going between this drill and regular multiplayer. Another thing that some people really like to do, personally I don't do this, but I wanted to mention it because it does work for some people, is turn your aim assist off for the drill if you're on console. Turn that aim assist off completely during the drill, and then when you get to regular multiplayer, make sure you re-enable it, you turn it back on, and a lot of people find this really helps their shot improve. Personally, I like practicing with the tools that I'll be using in regular multiplayer, so therefore I keep aim assist enabled so that I learn how it will react and how it will behave against enemies in practice, and therefore I'll be more comfortable with it in the full game. So feel free to mix that up though, choose what works for you. Now, how often would I recommend doing this? It's really up to you. For a lot of people, you might want to do this every single time you log on to play. Just do the accuracy drill for the first 10 minutes. It's an excellent way to warm up, and you will see improvement over time. Now, that might not work for everybody. If you don't have that much time to play, you don't want to be wasting your first 10 minutes of your gaming session doing an aiming drill all the time. But essentially, just do it as much as you can possibly fit in, and the more you do it, the more improvement you should see. Personally, especially towards the beginning of the game's life cycle, I'm still trying to get a good feel over everything, and I haven't even nailed down my sensitivity 100%. This drill is great for finding the perfect sensitivity for you. So personally, I'm going to be doing this drill pretty much every day, at least to begin with, and eventually I'll probably just end up using it as a warm-up drill. But that's going to wrap it up for today's drill, which is really all about sustained accuracy and just generally winning gunfights more effectively. I do have plans to make a few other drills against bots, kind of similar to this one, but focusing on different areas of your gameplay. One of the ones that I'm really interested in making is about reaction time and how to improve your reaction time and your ability to really snap on a target quickly, because that's quite important, especially in hardcore modes. And also, I'm open to doing other styles of drills, like possibly a proper quickscoping drill or something along those lines. If you guys have any suggestions, let me know in the comment section down below. If you enjoyed the video, a like rating is always appreciated, and don't forget to subscribe for more if you haven't already. I'll talk to you guys next time.
Yeah.